And we are live, I think. Let me quickly check. Yeah, I'm live. Okay. Hello and welcome to my channel. So I thought that, I'm going to do a little bit of a easy tutorial on how to create these hexagonal patterns in Cinema4D, and I'm going to do it live. So I hope you enjoy it, because again, this is very easy to do in Cinema4D. And let's get started. I'm going to render it probably in Redshift, maybe in Octane. I'm going to do it in Redshift this time. Okay, so first thing we want to do is let's create an end side, and we want to change the orientation. So change it to X and Z so that it lays flat on the ground. And then what we want to do is we want to extrude it by holding Alt and click on Extrude. That's great. And now we want to put this one into a cloner. The thing we have to do for this is going to select the Extrude and then click on this cloner. And we get this, but this is not the mode we want. We want the honeycomb. And again, it's in the wrong orientation. Just to change it to Y. And that's good so far. If we take a look at the original image, I haven't done that by myself, by the way. I just downloaded it from, I think, FreePic. I thought that this would be a good reference. There is this spacing in between here. We want that as well. So first of all, I'm going to upper the count to say 25 by 25. Something like that. That's good. And now we want this spacing in between. We can achieve that by manipulating the size width and the size height. Just drag this here and here, and I'm just going to eyeball this. It doesn't have to be exact, but anyway, that's good. So next thing is take a closer look. You can see it here. We have these beveled edges here. That's easy to achieve by just selecting the extrude, going to caps, and then manipulating the size of the cap, and maybe something like that. I'll put it to 10. Also upper the subdivisions, go to 10 maybe. And what we also see in the original one is we have the bevel also here. See, you can see it here. Very nice. That's also easy to do, but this time we have to go to the end side, and here I can change the rounding. See that? And it immediately rounds the edges. And but I don't want the radius that big. Just lower the radius to something like that. It's good so far. Okay, great. Okay, next thing is zoom out. The even distribution. You can see there are steps here and there. Some are more up in the air than others, and that's also something we can easily do in Cinema4D with just creating a modifier. Let's see, if I select the random modifier, get this. Obviously, we don't, in the parameters tab, we don't want it to be affected in the X and in the Z. We only want it to be affected in the Y. See? But the thing is that, I mean, I have some different random modes here. Let's put it to noise, maybe. The problem is that I can't really control the overall noise scale. I can tell you what I mean. I can show you what I mean in a minute. At least that I don't know how to change that. So maybe this is the wrong modifier for that. We can achieve something similar or even the same with the shader modifier. In the shader modifier, we don't want the scale, but we want the position, of course. We want it in the Y. So right now everything is affected, but we have a tab here for the shading, and here I can plug in a noise. And we get basically the same like the noise modifier, with the exception that I can change the scale and also the noise pattern itself. Let me see. Let's take maybe a Naki or a Luca. Change the global scale. See? I want it to be more uniform. I can change the overall global scale. Maybe something like that. And in the effect, the parameters, change the scale. Something like that, maybe. Okay, that's the first step. So we created this hexagonal field. So now let's see what's also happening here. We have this glow down here. Let's maybe, I mean, there are two different ways to do that. We could put in a light, but also maybe just a plane. Just scale it till it fits. Something like that. And now let's jump over to Redshift, because we have to deal with the whole shading and the materials and stuff like that. And fire it up. Okay, so right now it looks pretty flat. Let's create a material for the hexagonal pattern, just to drop it onto the cloner. And also just rename it hex. And also material for the plane. Let's call this one light. And maybe create a overall lighting first. In the original image, there was this light coming from this direction and also this direction. So let's create a null and create a area light. In this area light, what we want to do is we want to add a target tag. And in this target tag, we want to drag in this null. Let me create a camera. Like that, and lock the camera to the Redshift view so that I can jump out of the camera without affecting the Redshift render view. In this view, change, let's go to perspective and play with this light. That up here. I think it needs to be bigger. Something like that, maybe. Yeah. And I'm going to duplicate the light. Put it here, because here is our camera. This light to be right about here. Okay. Now let's take a look at our reference. The color. Let's put this one here. The color of the hexagonal pattern is blue. I wonder if it's affected by the lighting or by the material itself. Let's see. If we go ahead and change both of those. I mean, right now the hexagonal material is like a gray color. Let's put it like to white. Immediately changes everything. Maybe we should give it a blue tint. Click on this icon and select something like this. Yes, maybe. I mean, I'm not aiming for the exact same image. I'm just eyeballing it and creating something by my own. And I think also, if I take a look at those bump maps here, for example, which we will create in a minute, I think it has been created in Eevee or something, in Blender Eevee. It looks like a bump map from Blender to me. Anyway, maybe we should change the color of the lighting as well to something like that. It gives it a very dark, but it's really getting close to the reference image. If I change the exposure a little bit. Nope. What if we change the just a little bit. And in here, the color maybe a little bit brighter. To the here. Yeah, something like that maybe. Okay. So now maybe create the bump map for the tiles. Just double click here and type in noise. We want a maximum noise, and we also want a bump map. Plug this one into the bump map and this into here. And also, it's too shiny right now because, as you can see in the reference, it's not very shiny. It's just a little bit. Maybe just upper the roughness should give us a completely different look. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, I don't like the noise. Change it to Naki as well. Also make this one a bit bigger. Maybe the strength also 0.5, something like that, and make it bigger. In the overall scale of the noise, we can put in something like, I don't know, try 300. Yes, and that's looking pretty good actually. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it in the compression of YouTube, but this is a much better noise than this one here. And I think this has to do with the render engine. Yeah, great. Okay. Maybe make it a little bit less rough. Let's see. Something like that. Yeah, that's also good. Now for the shiny material in between. Select the light texture and in here go ahead and lower the weight of the diffuse material and also lower the weight of the reflection. And it's all getting dark. Why is that? Why is that? That's interesting. That's interesting. That's a bug, I think. Okay. Anyway, what we want is we only want the emission in this texture. Yes, something like that. And also the color should be something like this. Yeah, that's good. And now that I look at it, maybe just make it a little bit more tight, the hexagonal structure, because there's too much spacing in between those tiles. Let's see. Yeah, it's great. What if we lower the plane? Then we lose the shiny part. Okay. Anyway, I think that's looking pretty nice for my taste. Maybe change the color of the tiles. Make it a little bit darker. Let's see what happens. Ah. See that? That's good. Yeah, we're pretty close. We're pretty close. So now, I mean, actually, I could finish it right now, but we could spice it up even a little bit more with the glow. There are different methods of creating something like that. Let me first save it real quick. Oh. The harder method, or maybe the more taxing method on the GPU would be to create a redshift environment and play around with the fog. Let's try that. I have another method that works, but let's see. Create a redshift environment and everything should be white now. That's correct. In the redshift environment, turn on the scattering. Yes. And right now everything is scattering because also those, I only want them, I have to define it. I only want the plane to scatter. Not sure if that's even possible with just a material on it. Maybe you have to do this in a different way. But I also don't want to that those area lights are being scattered, if you know what I mean. So I can just select them and in the global, no, what's that one? Let's see, volume, is it volume? Yeah, it's volume. Just turn that down. So those two are not affected by the redshift environment, or the other way around. The redshift environment is not affected by those two area lights. So right now, basically nothing is affected because, as I said before, I have a plane with a material on it. And I'm not sure if that's even possible that an emissive material on an object is getting scattered in Redshift anyway. If I just disable the plane and add in a area light, this area light, rotate it 90 degrees and put it in between and just scale it up. Something like that. It's scattering like crazy right now. On the volume. It's too bright, maybe. What if we change the spread to 0? 0 spread. Bump up the exposure. The volume. Turn up the volume. Let's see. It's a very noisy image. No. That's not good. That's not good. That's not what we want. I thought that maybe if I put it in a light in between, we get these scattering rays. There is certainly a way to achieve that, but yeah, I would have to invest a little bit more time in that. Let's ditch that idea. The environment and enable the plane again. But what we can also do is we can just go ahead and add in a post FX effect by enabling bloom and turning down the bloom threshold. Clearly see, now it's getting to the point where we want it. Add maybe upper the strength of the emission to something like 4. Yeah. Up with the intensity, see, something like that. Yeah, that's looking good. What else do we have here? I mean, I could also see flare, but flare is not really what we want. Oh, maybe get a little bit of a flare inside here. That's looking actually pretty good. I'm surprised. And also maybe some streaks. See that here? It's great. It's great. Yeah, I like that. And what we also can do is, of course, I mean, we added in a camera already. We could add in a little bit of a depth of field, of course. Let's create a null. Put this null somewhere here. And in the camera, go to optical and then drag in this null. And then enable bokeh and turn down the aperture until we see something here. I mean, it's way down now. This is a pretty big scene, of course. So what is the focal length? It's 35 millimeters. Okay. I think it's okay. Maybe something like that is pretty good. We have 0.06 aperture. Okay. Anyway, we have a few different methods here as well. We could say, okay, the bokeh should be circular, maybe it's bladed, and we can specify how many blades, right? Yeah, like 5 blades. I'm not sure if you can see that in the render even. I'm not sure. It's okay. No. Let's leave it with circular. Great. Let's give it a final render. Unlock, yeah. And that's pretty similar to, no, it's not pretty similar. It's, the techniques are the same, yeah, but it's a completely different angle, but you get the point. And the cool thing is now, since we have this whole thing driven by a shader, yeah, and this shader has this noise in there. Let me show you something real quick. We could change we could do an animation here, of course, since it's driven by a noise, and the noise we can always animate. Let's see. Animation speed. How is this done? Cycles. No, it's not. Strange. Anyway, we could keyframe the cycles, for example. Have it. That's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of lifting here, and yeah, have it animated like that, for example, which gives us, of course, a cool method for an animation. See that? It's completely different. And with motion blur and stuff like that, it should look pretty cool. Let me give it one more last render. Great, great, great. I like that. Maybe a little bit, it could be a little bit more shiny maybe or something like that, but I like it. And I hope you liked that too. Yeah, if so, of course, like the video and subscribe, and I see you next time. Bye.